lunch. It's gonna be a long day today, Matt.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, it is. Hey, so we were just talking about it a minute ago. 80 degrees for a high here. What are you looking at there?
We're at feels like -7 with the wind chill.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I mean, sun's out, but it's brisk. It is cold.
Wow, man. That's crazy. -7 with the wind chill.
Yep.
We're at 78 with the wind chill.
Very good.
Yeah. Anyway, so the topic is I just want more students. So let's give it a second for people to log in, jump on, and
I think Mr. Halama's complaining about the weather by him too.
I think he's talking about our show.
It could be. It could be.
Hello, sir.
Yep, about the show.
Yep. There it is. All right. So
it's kind of like, do you ever have someone that you're texting with, and you text like they send you like 3 questions, and then you answer one of them, and they don't know which question it is that you just answered. Like, so when you text people, just ask one question at a time, so there's no confusion.
Yeah, often. But you know what, Tass? I really actually I don't text. I actually pick up the phone and call people.
That a boy. There's also an app out there. I think it's called Slack. That's a pretty good app that you could use to communicate.
I heard that. So let people jump in if they want new students.
Yeah, we'll let them. We'll give everyone a minute. We'll just shoot the breeze here while more people jump on. But I sent you the pictures of my son's vehicle. We got hit in the parking lot. Kind of crazy, right? Like, that was a guy making a left turn, and that did that damage. So we just got the
quote
information back. They totaled the car. Figured, right? But the best news is I paid $5,000 for that car. I got $7,300 for it. But that's how much car prices have gone up, and now when they
we're living in, yeah.
It's not. What's the great news is it's not based off of Kelley Blue Book or NADA. It's based off of similar years, similar miles, and what similar cars have sold for in the last whatever 6 months or whatever it's been.
Is that how you say it in Wisconsin? NADA? Here in Florida, we pronounce it nada.
At least I didn't get nada for my car.
That's true. That's true. All right. So
I guess nobody needs more students. If you need more students, just hit yes. Type yes. Type yes.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw some engagement on this announcement, and I saw people tag some people in it, and it's a topic where this is what gets the industry's attention is more students. So here we go. So if you need more students, just type in yes.
Do we want to be a dream killer and tell them that they don't necessarily need more students?
Well, that's what we do, Tass. We kill dreams, and we're going to be honest with people.
Right on.
So let's dive in on this. So yes, look, if you're excuse me, with this residual COVID cough from the holidays.
Did you see the meme of the guy in complete body armor and just the eyes are open, and it says like double vaccinated, and the guy's got this big suit of armor on, and then it's got a picture of an arrow right through the only thing that it could possibly hit is arrow right through the eyes. It says Omicron or whatever it is. It was pretty funny. It was actually pretty funny.
All right, so new students. So listen, if you're a business, not necessarily a martial arts business, if you're any business in the world, you need more customers. You absolutely need more customers. And we've talked about this before, and you guys that have heard this, you may have heard it, but you still don't understand it. You don't practice it. You don't know how to do it. But in the martial arts business, your customers are students. You need more students. You absolutely do. The problem is with our business is the majority of us in this industry rely on more students to generate more revenue. That's what we do. And we believe that is the answer. So for everybody saying, I need more students, need more students, need more students, the next question to that is, well, why? Why do you need more students?
After you get through, because I want to be a bigger influence in my community.
Right.
Because that's usually the first answer. And then when we just, cut deep, we find out, well, yes, that's great. We all want that, by the way, right? But the real answer is typically money at the end of the day.
Typically it is. I mean, I'd like you to weigh in. Why is it that everybody that said, yes, I need more students, why do you need more students? And
I'm sorry, I blew the engagement. You were going to set that up with a question.
Well, that's right, because engagement's important in this social world, they say, but I need to know how to mass upgrade. Okay. So that's not needing more students on that, but that's definitely a need. So yeah, so the question is, you guys said, yes, I need more students, but really here's the deal. I want you to chime in. I don't want to speak for you, but I've spoken to enough people that you need more students because of what Tass said. You need more money. You need more revenue. Now, here's the problem. So listen, I had a great conversation with a gentleman from California yesterday who reached out. Actually, he spoke with another my lead client, and then that client did a joint email and introduced us because he wanted to speak to me. But anyway, I had a great conversation. By the way, he's a two-time Olympian, this gentleman, two-time Olympian running a school out in California. And I asked him, and this is a question that you guys can ask yourself. You do not need to post your answers on this, but excuse me. The question is how much is your school, your business grossing each month? For example, gross is all revenue that comes in, from bottled waters to uniforms to equipment to the tuition payments that your students are making, total revenue that's coming in. Now, let's pretend you're grossing $30,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $5,000, but let's just pick a number. $10,000. Let's just say you're grossing $10,000 every month, gross, all revenue. The next question I would have for you is, out of that, and by the way, take out after school programs, take out summer camps, take out all that revenue. That I look at as a separate business, a viable one, but a separate one. Not the one that I'm into. I'm into evening martial arts. I want students to come in at 4 o'clock. I want to have a class schedule and teach in the evening. And that's what I'm talking about. So if you have after school pickup and revenue, take that revenue out a minute. And the question is how much is your business grossing each month? So in this example, grossing $10,000 a month with everything coming in, how much of that is tuition payments from your students that are paying to be there? Most of you listening right now, your tuition payments, money that's being paid, is going to be 85 or 90% of your total gross revenue. That means if I'm grossing $10,000 a month, $8,500 of that, or $9,000 of that, is tuition payments coming in. Okay. Well, that's not a good business model. And this is where our industry goes wrong. And then Tass, you want to educate them and tell them on how do we get, so I'm going to just set it up with this. The gentleman I was on the phone with, I told him, our tuition payments that come in every month from people paying monthly never will represent more than 50% of our gross revenue. So if my tuition payments was $8,000 a month, our school should be grossing at minimum $16,000 a month. And he said what a lot of people say, well, how do you do that? And then I actually showed him our numbers and I went through it with him. But why is this a bad business model if 85 or 90% of your revenue, or the majority of your revenue, is represented? And then how is it possible that it shouldn't be that way, Tass?
Yeah, and I think I shared this number with you. Ours was like 28% tuition over. Tuition represents like 28% of our total gross revenue for the year, which is a crazy number. But yeah, I mean, listen, anytime you prop up any business, right? I'm trying to think of who I give credit to for this, but the Parthenon. But if you have one pillar of revenue and that pillar gets knocked down, your business is done, right? Or that's a problem. So you want to have all of these different pillars. So if one gets taken down, your business is still propped up by these other pillars. And so a lot of us rely on our monthly billing check as the main pillar, like Beth said, 85% or more in typical cases, to be that revenue source for us. And then what happens when things are slow or things, we have students quit or whatever it is. So we don't like to do that. And it's very dangerous for a business, number one. Number two, you're going to see people that are going to talk about month-to-month programs and how you can have all these people and just charge them month-to-month and really work on getting your billing check up as high as you can. That's fine. But at the end of the day, they're also leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table. So there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. But, we always talk about what we have as what we call the 5 pillars, right? And so this is how you can generate revenue, whether you agree with them or disagree. It doesn't matter. We've done this for years. We know it works, but there's 5 different profit centers that you have in your school. New students is just one of those profit centers. That's just one. And for a lot of us, that becomes the only profit center that we have. And when student enrollment is slow or we start losing students, then we're like, we need more students, because we're not using the other 4 profit centers in a lot of cases. And if we are using them, we're not using them the right way. So we have new students as a profit center. We have upgrades as a profit center, which I know is a controversial topic in the industry, right? But everybody, whether you believe it or not, you're doing an upgrade program. You just may call it something differently. Retention is a real profit center, and you would be blown away if I could show you how just retaining 1% more of your students on a yearly basis, how that generates thousands of dollars more in your school. We have retail, and of course, right now the excuse for us, a lot of us in retail, is, well, we can't get anything, so we're not doing retail. Like, just get over that mindset and do your people know where things are at. Doesn't mean you don't do retail or don't do things, or I'm not doing a trial because I can't get a white uniform to give my student. Be creative, right? But there's retail, and then there's also special events in your school. Now, the trick is that we have these 5 profit centers, but what needs to happen is you have to understand how to integrate these 5 profit centers and make them all work together. Because if you take a 1%, 2%, 3%, adjustment in each of these areas, that becomes exponential in your business. And we I just a couple of weeks ago I did a webinar on the power of 1% and what that can do in different areas of your business. So you must have, like any business, right? There are staples. If we want to talk McDojos and McDonald's for a minute, McDonald's staple is their hamburger, right? Like, that's their staple. But they have all these other items that they make money on. If you look at ice cream, the number one seller of ice cream is vanilla. But that doesn't stop Baskin-Robbins from having 31 flavors, right? So there's all these other profit centers that you need to have and should have in your business, so you're not just propped up on one thing, where if that thing starts not working, we can't generate revenue.
Yes. So what you all have to understand is new students are the lifeline of your business. New students is the fuel for your business, right? So you need to have a system on how to get new students. And because you guys tuned in, I don't want to leave you hanging. I want to give you some ideas to get new students. But I want to make sure that you just understand that, sometimes you'll have slow months, whether it's COVID. For example, I know Mr. Weaver, here you go. He's in Canada. Lockdowns, he was in lockdown. Well, then the comment was, I called every student to upgrade to our new rates, and honestly, 93% showed up. Now I want to talk about that. If your billing check, okay, your tuition payments, let's just say, is $8,000 a month, and that is your main source of revenue into your school, there's only 2 ways you can increase your revenue then. There's only 2. Raise your rates, that'll increase your billing, or get more people on your billing. That's how you do it. But then if I was to ask you, well, what are all the ways you can generate revenue in your business, in your school? And he said it. He talked about the 5 profit centers. But if people bought more retail, I'm going to generate more revenue. If people did more special events, whether it's seminars, parent night outs, whatever you do, birthday parties, whatever you do. We don't do birthday parties much anymore, but my point is the concept. If everybody was signing up and said, look, I want to pay $40 to come to a parent's night out, or $50 or $100 or $200 or $300 to have my kid's birthday party here, or I want to come to this seminar this Saturday that you're hosting with this guest coming. Well, that's revenue. That'll increase your business. If you have private lesson packages, if my students saw value in having private lessons where they wanted to buy a package to use when they want, that's revenue. So my point is I can go on and on upgrades. So for example, he brought up the ice cream idea. Well, if you want ice cream, you're going to go to your favorite ice cream place. And I said this about Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, but we'll use ice cream. If you go and they say, what would you like? I want vanilla. And they then say to you, would you like any toppings? Do you want it in a fancy cone? Do you just want it in a cup? You're not going to be insulted. If you feel there's value in getting strawberries and chocolate chips or whatever, you just got upgraded. You just got upgraded. But you got upgraded without being sold. You got upgraded because you had a freedom of choice.
Right.
That is how you do it in your martial arts school. Now, again, they do not take away the greatest ice cream in the world. If you love their ice cream and you do not want to upgrade with toppings, you're going to get the same vanilla scoop that I'm going to get, whether you get toppings or not. If I load it up, they're not going to add extra better flavor in my vanilla ice cream than you. So their core product is what it is. Same thing in your martial arts school. So we talk about this all the time, but the next exercise I would have you do, and then we'll give you some ideas on new students, is how much do you charge for lessons? So you don't put it in there. I mean, it's a personal thing and maybe you don't want to blast it. I'm not asking you to post it, but just write it down. How much do you charge for classes? I charge $100 for classes. Okay, let's just say charge $100 a month, $100 a month to train at my school. And then we ask Tass, well, how many students do you have? I have 100 students. So you have 100 students and you charge $100 a month. Yes. Well, how much are you grossing a month? Total revenue of everything, uniform sales, tuition payments, everything. What are they going to tell us?
$8,000.
They're going to say 8,000. And we're going to say, so you charge 100 a month with 100 students. So right off the bat, 100 times 100 is 10,000.
Right.
By the way, do you ever sell a uniform, a weapon, a gi, a t-shirt? Yes.
Oh, no. But you don't understand. We have a lot of families. And we do discounts for the family, and we have free people.
Right. We have free people. Fantastic. But your gross revenue should never be less than what you charge a student multiplied by the number of students you have. It should never be that way. But you're going to say, well, a lot of them are grandfathered in at our old rates. It shouldn't be that way. It should never be that way, period.
Yeah. And you're going to say that, and we're going to say, we have a lot of free members. We have staff that doesn't pay and discounts on family pro. So we have people that can't pay that are on scholarship. But when you look at what we are getting for our overall, what we call student value, right? I know in Orlando, you guys were at over 7 locations, 222.
222.
There's 222, and in our locations we're at 215 and 190. And the one that was at 190, there's a reason why they weren't over 200. But so
you got to tell them what that's based on, how much you charge.
Yeah, and so which was where I'm going. So that's based off of our basic program, which is $149 a month. So when you look at those numbers, we're getting more than what we charge per month. But every time 90% of the times I take calls from people, they give me what they charge. They give me their student base, and what they're actually collecting is less than what they actually charge. So we definitely got to work on that. Metz said this earlier, but he said the only way that you can grow your business if you're doing that process of billing is you got to get more clients or you got to charge more. There's a third way, which is you charge more often, which is what he was talking about, right? And that's the this is where the industry gets confused about nickel and diamond. We're not charging more often and forcing that charge more often. We're making offerings that if people see value, like he said earlier, they'll go ahead and do it. So you can charge more often to those clients. We all know that a customer who's already bought from us is more likely to buy more because now they know us, like us, and trust us. And then the last way, if you want to, generate more revenue, right? If you want to look at revenue, if you want to look at profit, is cut expenses and look at your expense line and cut expenses. So, but that you only can get that number so low, right? But those are your 4 ways essentially to generate more money. You got to charge more, you got to get more people, you got to charge more often, or you cut expenses, or you do all of them and you watch your numbers skyrocket. So I think that's important for everyone to kind of just marinate on that and really understand that.
So just to put it in perspective, take the number of students that you have,
right?
However many active students you have, and if you were just to match what my team has done in Orlando, multiply the number of students you have by 222 and look at what your gross revenue would be. Or take your number of students, multiply it by 215, what Tass's team has done, and that's how much your gross revenue would be with the number of students that you have.
With no after school and no summer camp, just to be clear.
All right. So you have to understand that in business, because we're going to tell you, we'll give you some ideas on how to get new students, but you have to understand that in business. Now, because when you get new students, you're just on a gerbil wheel if you do not understand how to do that, and how to do that with freedom of choice with your customers without watering down your core product or service that you offer. Taekwondo. If I never want sprinkles, I still want to be able to get my black belt in your school. You can't take that away from me when you tell me we charge $100 a month to learn Taekwondo. Well, then here's $100 a month. I want to get my black belt in Taekwondo. Fine. Okay. But and the reason why we're pushing on the upgrades is because it's one of the most controversial subjects in the industry. And it's also one of the topics that is done incorrectly 95% of the time in the industry. It is done wrong and incorrectly, because the next thing that we have as a system is 80% of your student body should be in an upgraded program because they chose to be, right? So if you went into Baskin and Robbins, I wonder what percent of people end up upgrading themselves by either getting a topping or getting it in a waffle cone, as opposed to just in a cup, one flavor, that's it. I bet you it's a very high percent of people that actually upgrade and pay more money for something they see value in. Should be the same in your business, okay? Now, how do we get some new, oh, by the way, real quick, and Miss Ramos, the reason I said sprinkles is because I like sprinkles as well.
Oh my gosh.
All right, is there a trick to selling privates? We just can't get them sold no matter how hard we try. Yeah, there's a lot of tricks to selling privates, but unfortunately, Mr. Manelli, not the topic of today's show. No, I'm kidding. I'll give one. First of all, don't just sell one-offs. Don't just sell like, hey, we offer private lessons if you want to buy one. Offer packages. So buy 3, buy 6, buy 12. Okay, number one. Number two, to get these going, you got to go ahead. Oh,
you said I'm going to give one. He says, and now he's going to go on the next one.
Well, that's not a trick. That's not how you sell them. If you're not selling privates, you're not going to start selling.
Okay, then you go ahead and give one. Then I'll do one.
I'm going to give one. Every new student that joins your school, just say, hey, look, by the way, today we're offering a special. You also get this coupon for a free 30-minute private lesson to use anytime you want. There is no expiration date. It just has to be scheduled. Well, once they experience a private lesson and they get that 30-minute, that's where you then can say, look, you did phenomenal. You could see the value. Do you want to buy a package of 3, 6, 12, or whatever? There's no expiration. You can use it to supplement your group training if that's something you see value in. That's a great way to show value and start selling. Go ahead.
Well, then I'm going to do what you did. Okay, here we go. So next, you can put it on your schedule so that people can actually see that you do offer private lessons. So if you looked at our schedule, we start our normal classes at 4 o'clock. So at 3:30 every day, you're going to see private lesson by appointment only. And then at night when we're done, at whatever time we're done with classes, 8, 8:30, it says private lesson by appointment only. So making sure that there's that visual that you do offer private lessons. But that's not going to help you sell private lessons. You're just going to let people know about them. So then I'm going to give my one way to help sell them, similar to what Metz said. That's going to help you on all of your new students that are coming in. But for your existing students, you could have a private lesson marathon day or a super Saturday where everybody comes in and they can sign up for a 15, 20-minute private lesson with you. And then you have your private lesson packages available. And that's the key to this. You can't just do the private lesson and say, hey, great job today, high five, we'll see you later, see you in class. You need to sit down like Metz said, hey, look, we really got a lot of traction today. I loved working with him. He got better during that lesson. And look, I'd love to continue to work with him one-on-one. And here's some of the different packages that we have to offer. Which one of these works best for you guys? Is something you guys be interested in? But literally do like a sprint or a marathon with private lessons on a Saturday where you can get, even if you had 4 instructors that were doing them, you put 1 instructor in each corner and you're doing 4 every 15 or 20 minutes, you can get through a lot of students that way and everybody presents at the end. You will sell private lesson packages. By the way,
private lesson packages are the same as a referral rewards program in your school to get new students. The first step is people got to know about it, and it's got to be reminded constantly, right? That is the thing. So when you hear people say, so let's just give you an idea on getting new students in the door. When you hear people say referral programs, they don't work. You know, you listen to these consultants that'll tell you about referrals, this, that, and the other. Of course they work, and they work so good. There's no effort and there's no money spent. So why wouldn't you do it? The worst that happens is you continue to get no referrals. But do you think you might get a couple referrals if you just follow a simple system? So my example would be, every time a new student enrolls in your school, just ask them. And I need to ask you, who referred you to our school? Oh, nobody. I just saw your sign, or I was going to the grocery store and I decided to come in to get information. Oh, no problem at all. Just the reason why we ask is the majority of our students come from our students referring people. And what we decided to do as a way of saying thank you to our students, because a lot of people kept referring, as a way of saying thank you, we let them spin our referral prize wheel. It's just fun for the students. Or we give a $50 gift card to the retailer of their choice or restaurant of their choice, or a $75 credit to the pro shop. And again, it's just our way of saying thank you. That's why we always ask who referred you, so we can give proper credit to the student who referred. By the way, here's 3 VIP passes. If you know anybody that you feel can benefit from martial arts, there's 3 VIP passes there. You can give those to anybody you want. Just make sure you write your name on the back so we know who it came from. Well, now there's already a perception of, oh man, okay, well, I don't want to be the only one not referring people to the school and this, that, and the other. And I didn't say, give these out to people you think want to do martial arts. I said, if you know anyone that you believe can benefit from our martial arts program, you can give them one of these VIP packs. Now, that's the effort. That's the effort I put in. Now, if you sign up 5 students a month, right? Now, some of you might sign up 20 students a month, but if you sign up 5 students a month, that's 60 students a year. Don't you think the odds are in your favor that you're going to get maybe 5 new students from doing that? 5, right? Now, what's 5 students to us? We already told you our student value is $222. It's over $1,000 a month in revenue because of the way I just presented it. And by the way, Tass knows this. We could do an hour seminar on just how to set up a referral reward system. This is just an example of something very simple you could start right now, no effort, no money spent, that can start getting you some new students. Okay.
Yeah. Go for those of you on the Edge site, right? Just go on there and look up, referral pass or buddy pass, and have those ready at the end of every enrollment. And, I just being transparent, we did struggle with this for a while because it was getting forgotten. So if you're doing paper agreements, paper clip 2 VIP passes to your paper agreement, so it stares you in the face and you remember to present it. You just have to create whatever mechanism that you need to make sure that people are getting them. And this is going to sound horrible, but the problem for most of us, we're just not prepared. We don't have the guest passes even printed. So, or they're printed and they're shoved in the cabinet somewhere. So just get them so they're accessible and you can give them out. The other thing is, now take those. We're kicking off the new year. You can, if you don't have a referral program, put it in place and then remind everybody what it is and say, listen, I'm only giving out 2 passes. Give them to your existing students. So again, now we're not just leveraging new enrollments, because some of you that might only enroll 3 or 4 or 5 people, which he just talked about, is fine, but you're not going to feel like it's fast enough. But you do need a starting place. That should be for every enrollment that you have. You should do that, number 1. But number 2, go to your existing student body, have them write their name on the back of the card, explain the referral rewards program to them, and just give 2 to every student. Say, guys, look, we're kicking off a new year. For whatever reason, we've been the best kept secret in the area. And we just want to let more people know about, where what we do and how we can impact lives. So if you know someone, like you said, that you think can benefit from a program, I'm going to give you 2. You only get 2. If you need more, you can come back and tell me, but I need to know who you gave those first 2 out. And now you start creating a sense of urgency and scarcity, where you're not just, setting them up on the table when they leave. Hey, by the way, grab them on your way out. We always say presentation is everything, and it's the same thing, here as well. So we talked about private lessons at the enrollment conference, and also doing with your existing base. Now we talked about referral rewards or referral passes, VIP passes at the enrollment conference, and also with your existing students. And Matt's February is coming up, and that means Valentine's Day. And if you're on the Edge site, and if you're not on the Edge site, you can create your own. But, we do coloring sheets.
Especially if you work with kids.
Yes.
If you're working with children, go ahead, tell them how many leads they can get from this.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy one that you can get into daycares. You can get into the school system. And it's just a coloring sheet. And we partner up and we put it right on there. This is an example, but we'll put the big box stores on there, like Best Buy as an example, or GameStop, Walmart. So we'll typically do 4 $25 gift cards. So when we present this to the elementary school or the daycare, it looks bigger than just us. And they're like, hey, we partnered with these stores and we're going to give away $100 in gift cards to whoever wins the coloring contest. And we drop them off. We'll schedule a day to come back and pick them up. And we will pick a winner. But this is something we did. If we did it so well, we haven't done it in a long time. But we put it we put it like in 3 schools. And I think the 3 schools averaged like 600 kids per school or whatever it was. I mean, we had over 400 coloring sheets come back. And these are really good leads, because you end up having the kid's name, their age, their phone number, and their email, and they give you the right data because they want to win the contest. So they're putting down the right information. And then we'll pick the winner. We'll invite them to come in. We take their picture, give them their gift cards. They get their picture taken. And because we sponsor the coloring contest, this is an example, do whatever you want. We give them 2 free weeks of martial arts and a free uniform, no obligation. And we will tell them, hey, I'll just tell you guys, when we make the calls, we're going to call up, hey, Mrs. Smith, it's Shane Tassoul with Championship Martial Arts. The reason for my call, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but your child participated in a coloring contest at whatever, XYZ daycare or elementary school. And I will tell you, unfortunately, we did already pick the winner for the $100 in gift cards. And we actually have a picture of them posted on our Facebook page with their gift cards. But I will tell you, because we sponsor the coloring contest and because your child is a runner-up, you get 2 free weeks of martial arts and a free uniform, no obligation. Have you ever thought about martial arts for your child before? They're going to say yes, or they're going to say no. Say, well, great. This is a great opportunity for you as a parent to really see the values and the benefits of the program and really see if this is something that Johnny might enjoy. What I'd love to do is I'd love to schedule a time for you guys to come in, take a free go through a free evaluation lesson. And if it's something that you decide that you want to continue with, you'll get that free uniform. You'll get the free 2 weeks. There is no obligation. And I'll tell you what, if he does decide or she does decide that they like it, if after the 2 weeks you want to go ahead and get started, when you enroll, we'll go ahead and give you the $100 in gift cards anyways. I've got some time today or tomorrow. What day works best for you to come in? That's what you want to go through, and you call every single person. We do not leave messages. Literally make this simple. You grab the coloring sheet, you call them up. If they don't answer, I put no answer with a date, flip it over. I call the next one. When I get to the end of the stack, I go back to the top and I start making the phone calls again. And you will get people to come into your school, and you will get enrollments from that.
So the thing is, guys, when you want new students, there's either sweat equity that you got to do, or you got to open your checkbook. social media is a must today. I mean, we didn't teach this stuff 20 years ago. It just wasn't there. Today, it's a must. And for those of you spending money on social media, I grab these things because these are the kind of stats we keep. In our schools, you're not going to be able to read all this, but every one of these sheets are different stat numbers on our schools, right? And you have to know your numbers because, first of all, every student you enroll, how much is the average student worth to you, right? Now, if you do month to month, how long does that average student last? If you do a 1-year contract, how long does that average student last? It's not a year. How long is the average student that enrolls in your school? How long do they last? How much does the average student spend with you when they enroll? What is the lifetime average of a student dollar-wise that they spend? So let's say every student you enroll, let's just pretend, is worth $600. Let's just pretend that's how much the average student spends at my school when they enroll because they quit or whatever, $600. Well, if you're spending money for social media and you're getting all upset because it's costing you, let's say it's costing you $100 a lead, which is ridiculously high, $100 a lead. But you don't enroll every single lead. So, out of all these leads, you're getting half of them. So every new student you're getting, you're spending $200 to get a new student. But you just told me they're worth $600. You got to look at your numbers and say, well, I'm making $400 on this. But how do I get that lower, that cost per lead and that cost per student? And then you got to dive in and say, well, why am I only getting 50%? Why am I spending $100? Do I have to change up my offer? How can I improve my conversion rate to get all these numbers down? Then I got to look at the other side and say, well, why does the average student only end up spending $600? And for most of you, it's going to be $1,000 or whatever it is. But why is that? How can I improve that? Then you're going to be smarter on your money, because what a lot of you will do is stop spending money on social media advertising because you have no idea what it looks at. You're looking at it only as an expense, and you're not looking at what kind of investment it is. Now, either way, we want to get it down. Tass, you and I were just talking. There's some clients I know with Chris Rodriguez with GrowPro Agency, they're getting $5 a lead. $5 a lead. Well, if I was getting $5 a lead, I would double my expense. I'd double my spend. I'd double it because I've locked in. It's the timing, it's the ad, it's the out, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. I'm going to double it so I can get a ton more leads, and I'm going to watch it. But I don't care if it goes to $10, $20, or even $30. I love that all day long. But how's your conversion rate? So when you say you need new students, we got to dive into that. Do you need more leads? Do you need more appointments to show up? Do you need more conversions? Where is the problem here? And a lot of you are going to say leads. So once we decide, do we want sweat equity or do we want to spend money? The next thing you have to understand is there's external marketing, things you need to do outside of your school. And there's internal marketing, things you need to do within the school. For example, the referral rewards is one example. But you have to know how to do both. And you also got to track where are the majority of your students coming from. If you're not, and you can't guess. You can't guess and say, oh, the majority of our students are coming from this. Show me. If you can't show me, you're guessing. Okay? Where are they coming from? When I find out where the majority of my students are coming from, I'm going to spend more time and energy and effort doing that because it's working for me. So you got to understand those two things when you want to get new students, but social media is a must. Okay.
And Metz, you said this, right? And nobody likes to hear you got to know your numbers because that means you got to be accountable for your stats, and it's never a sexy topic. I've said it over and over. I hate putting in the data. I love to analyze the data, right? And to your point, a lot of us run our businesses on gut feeling. So I just had a client call earlier today, and they were extremely disappointed and frustrated. They're like, it's not a good month. I'm like, well, what's going on? We're losing a ton of students. Okay, that's the gut check. Okay, well, what's our attrition rate for last year? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, let's figure that out. So we went through the attrition rate for the year. It was at 4.6% attrition with almost 300 students. Not a horrible attrition. It needs a little bit of work, but we don't need to focus on the fact that we have all of these losses this month, because over time, and by the way, the last quarter of the year, the attrition was 4.8%. So it does need a little bit of attention, but we got over the gut feeling, the knee-jerk reaction, because had we figured those numbers out and the attrition was 6% or 6.5%, yeah, we've got a definite attrition problem. And when you say you need more students, well, we don't know what your retention rate is either, right? What if we just retained by 1% or 2% better? Would we still need those more students? So this is why numbers are so important in your business. We can't stress it enough. And if you're not going to do it, you got to find somebody that's going to just do the data entry for you, so you can at least look at your dashboard and your gauges. I mean, it's like driving a car and not having the speedometer, not having a gas gauge or anything, and it's all gas. You're like, I don't know, I think I'm going about this fast. I think I have enough gas left, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm out of gas, and how'd that happen? Or I got pulled over for a speeding, because you have nothing to go by, right? And this is why numbers are so important in your school. I know it's like beating a dead horse, and for some of you, it's been 8, 10, 20. I mean, I remember talking with Ernie Jr. when he was on. He was like, I've known I should keep stats for the last 25 years. I just haven't done it. I remember him saying something to that effect, right? But if we really want to take our business to the next level, you got to run your business by the numbers, not by your gut feeling. Gut's important, but you got to validate with the numbers.
So I'm looking at numbers. So I have a school here because it's a little bit of a higher number. I have a school here, our Lake Nona school. They lost 121 students last year. They lost 121. If you don't understand numbers, that's 10 students every single month that's quitting. You would be like focusing, okay, we got to focus on keeping our people, not getting new ones. We're losing so many students. We're losing 10 a month. So they lost 121. Then I go to this page and I look at Lake Nona's attrition rate for the year, 3.3% for the year. They don't have an attrition problem. I mean, 3%, they're at 3.3. Would I like it to go down by 0.3, like to 3? Yeah, I mean, but it's not that's normal. It's not a problem. So you got to know your numbers. And when you get new students in, you got to make them count. How many of you hate signing up a ton of students? Let's say you have a good month comparatively to whatever you normally do. You sign up a good number of students and you're excited, you're happy. And next month you see that your billing check is the exact same as it was the month before, or it went down. And you're thinking, I don't understand this. We signed up all these students. Why didn't our billing go up? Because you're losing students. And that's the gerbil wheel effect. That's what you don't want. You got to make sure that you know your numbers and know where your students are coming from. And there's no golden nugget. It's funny, this was a high attendance, and it's because we put, I just need more students. And you guys probably are tuning in because you want the golden ticket. You want, like, here's the secret to getting new students. The secret is bust your ass. The secret is know your numbers. The secret is know internal and external marketing. And you're recruiting every single day. By the way, don't just throw your feet up. Here's what you don't do. You don't throw your feet up on the thing and just push a button and say, you know what, I'll spend $200 or $500. Let's see how that does. I'll wait for my phone to ring. That just doesn't work. I mean, you got to do that, but you got to do 20 different things all the time to be recruiting and getting new students. But it makes no difference if you can't keep them. And by the way, Tass, up here, did you already answer this? Do you not leave a message?
We do not leave a message. We just hang up and move on. We're looking for connects only. And then also I see a trusted parent be happy to enter the data. Depends on the data. I wouldn't be having a parent do that because they don't need to know the backside of your business. They always say the most expensive employee that you have is a volunteer. And so you would want somebody, maybe an assistant instructor or a program director, or a spouse or a partner. That's who I would have doing that. I don't really need people in the back office, looking at only one portion of the numbers and don't really understand it and then start talking to their parents. I know you said a trusted parent, but I still don't like that idea, just to throw that out there.
Because even that trusted parent will have a student that will eventually quit sometime.
Right.
And then you just lost that trusted parent potentially, or if something goes on where they're upset with something, they know your stuff. They can talk to other parents. I mean, it's tough.
And just to recap, everybody, we started this not with giving you ideas about how to get new students, but that was done on purpose. Because if we just come on here and give you ideas about how to get new students, you're going to put, for lack of a better term, you're going to put them in the same broken system that keeps spitting out this low student value. If we can fix our systems and put in the 5 profit centers and do some of the things that we were talking about, well, this is going to raise your student value. Well, now go to your marketing, and now you start putting people into this new system, and you're going to be earning more money on all of those students. So that's really the way that we like to do it. It was done by design, so I hope you guys understand that.
Look, we always say we're transparent. So we were talking about student value. If you see this is Q4. Do you see Q4 student value?
Yeah, 240. Oh, look at that bad boy, 241.
241 student value in the Q4, and here's what we said. This was year to date,
right down to the 100th. 222. Yeah,
222. 222 for 2021. Hey, let me ask you, everybody, what are you afraid of to try to let us help you guys? I mean, what are you afraid of as far as investing some money with Maya, try out the consulting, or come to an event? If you've done it before in the past, where are you today as opposed to where you were going when we were working together? When we were working together, were you doing what you needed to do? Because here's what I tell people. If you really want to scale your business and change your life, if you call me, and I said this to the gentleman yesterday that called, you're going to work. You're going to work your ass off and get overwhelmed for the first 6 months or so, because it's going to be mind-boggling. It could be a little overwhelming. We try to take it in pieces. But once you're through that, you're onto a whole different level of business. I mean, but I'm honest with people. I mean, if you want to be successful, it's not easy, or everybody would be successful. I would love to see you guys register. If you can invest $300 and a plane ticket and 1-night hotel, February 25th and 6th, Friday, Saturday, just come to our event and see for yourself. Meet some other school owners from all over the country. It can change your life if you're willing to try to invest. And I say that passionately because I know we can help you guys. And I know we can change your life, but it's not going to be magic. We can't do it for you. We're just going to guide you, hold your hand, and walk you down the path and pull you along. But you got to ultimately walk yourself. You got to take the steps yourself. But all systems go in Orlando, Florida, February 25th and 6th. You can register. And we do this every single time. If this was planned, as I see the engagement, if this was planned, I'd have a link ready for you. And if anybody on my team or Maya's team is watching, please post the link up for All Systems Go so you can read about it, see the topics. But I'm telling you, we can help you if you're willing to help yourself. I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind.
That's the second part, and Metz and I have talked about this. We believe sometimes that's why people don't pull the trigger, right? Because they're just afraid they won't do the work. At the end of the day, we can give you everything that you need.